This is the Mike and Alex show. This is Mike.
This is Alex.
And this is Evan. I'm the executive associate audio
Juice box
envisionary
getter.
juice box
Dude.
dude.
And by the way, we have no juice boxes yet.
Yeah, where's my juice box?
Oh, they're all out.
Alex wants juice boxes for some
Get me a
reason today.
juice box.
Did you
Are
have a
you
juice
kidding?
box growing up?
A
with your
fucking
lunch?
Capri Sun.
Actually, I did have juice boxes growing up. The Apple and Eve ones.
Apple.
Like the
Apple,
seven.
you mean
Apple.
Oh,
Apple
yeah,
and
yeah,
Eve.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was the name of the
I
brand.
vaguely- They were small, right?
They're more organic. I mean, they're not super like they're not like organic like now, but back then that was just like
They were
healthy.
terrible, weren't they?
They're not Mott's.
sugar and-
They're not Mott's, and they're not like juicy.
Remember
juice.
Capri Suns? I always had the hardest
like
time
Capri Suns.
My
poking
mom
the
ne-
hole in Capri Suns.
That's what
That's
she
what she
You
said.
know, like poke it you poke through the other side.
That's what she said. Okay, I left myself off that one.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Capri Suns. Let us not talk on
No,
Capri Suns.
I didn't. Growing up, we didn't really do like.
You didn't do Capri Suns?
We didn't do Capri Suns. My mom would.
Your mom was afraid of that.
My mom didn't like if the first four ingredients were sugars or artificial ingredients. She shifted to something else.
What?
Well, it's also
Coke?
the jukeboxes. You
You're a
can't
big
actually
Coca-Cola
see.
guy.
Well, that
You
was
can't
in my
actually see the
late
juice.
teens
It's
and
all
early-
like covered in the bottle. It's not like a glass bottle. You can't actually
can't
see
see
some
what's
of
in
the
there.
juice.
Yeah,
so
no.
that kind of makes it a little mysterious as well.
On the same topic, you guys ever had a margarita in the bag? They're like Capri Suns.
No,
It was one of
no,
the best
no,
things I ever had in the summer. A few
No,
years
I'm
ago.
sorry. I'm an adult. I actually drink out of a cup.
Yeah, but it's just as good, and it's in the summer, and you feel like you're drinking a Capri Sun. But you're not.
That sounds like Boxel wine.
Box of
I do not drink box
the
of
bag
wine.
of Joes. No, the box of bag. Yeah, bag of Joes.
Bag o' Joes.
The bag
Cup
o'
o' Joe.
Joes.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
but that's good. Try it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Moving
If
on.
you notice, we both respectfully said okay to Mike because we don't want to hurt his feelings, but we're also acknowledging that we're not going to try that.
Yeah, Mike doesn't care because he had a good time with it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
thanks, but no thanks. Moving on.
Yeah, it says the guy who drinks Miller High Lifes.
I don't know who you're talking to.
All right, so today we're going to talk about the best way to set a first impression, and that is for you're basically listening to three guys who are currently single giving dating advice. So let's see how this goes. If nothing else, you'll learn
You'll
from
know
us
what not
to do.
Pretty much.
And they fast forward.
For most people, if you just want to skip ahead of this segment, go ahead.
So
Yeah,
Alex,
we'll have a top five.
We're gonna have a top
at
five
the
at the end of the show. You're
segment.
gonna love it.
It'll go for like the last 10 minutes or so. You'll be fine. But
so Alex, dating, what not to do? What have you done?
well, first
Good
off,
topic.
generally, how do you meet people that you go on? What do you guys are doing now for like meeting people or like securing that first date?
For this first date, I've gone both routes. I've been introduced and set up, and I've just randomly met people and gone out on dates too.
What do you mean randomly met people?
Like you bump into somebody
Online,
at a
Craigslist?
bookstore.
What are you doing?
I don't do Craigslist. You know I don't do Craigslist.
Baby
just
formula
getting that
at
out
a
there.
Target or
Well,
Yeah, in line.
Well, yeah,
with
in
the
line
deli.
consumer auto parts store.
yeah, or you're at like a networking event, or you're somewhere else, and you kind of bump into somebody, you chat, and you make plans, and you go out.
All right, give me an example of what time you did that.
All
right, Evan, next.
Let's see. I've stopped dating for a little while, so
All
I'm
right.
good.
I generally I do online dating now. I don't go to bars as much. I have had a little bit of success at bars when like say I sing karaoke and somebody liked my performance. I can do a good like back and forth with them, find some common
Who
ground.
liked your performance? You know what's surprisingly entertaining to do for karaoke? Sorry to interrupt your
No
top
worries.
five impressions. Creed. I'm not a big Creed fan, but you get a couple of drinks in you. You have some fun. You just cut loose.
You sound like
Well,
you're a secret Creed
it's-
fan.
I get karaoke
I'm not a
Rick
Creed fan.
Astley. But
Moving on, anyway.
Generally lately it's been an online thing. I use like the sites like OkCupid. OkCupid
Grindr.
is probably the best for Tinder.
How have you
Big
how have
Bears.
you found OkCupid?
No, good luck.
I have not had good experiences with online dating. I'll leave it at that.
Well,
Why
I
not?
mean, it's not just the site,
Divulge-
it's
divulge.
you.
Why?
You have to. I mean, they gave you the tools, but you have to
Use
put
the
a good
tools.
profile. You have to be assertive. You have to know if
I'm
there's some red flags for people that you don't.
That's
want
just
to
it. I get all the red flags. Hey, you're cute. Want to join my webcam?
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean,
that's
that's a spam. You just
that's
ignore
spam.
those.
That's
You
like-
filter
that's
those
a
out
bot.
and get to the next
I
stuff.
get spam bops all the time. That's why I stopped online dating.
How many bots are you talking to in your phone right now?
None. I'm not dating right now. I'm good. I'm focusing on me.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, yeah, me too. But also, but I mean, it's just important to be out there. Like, just be susceptible. I mean, get your profile on a couple sites. Just and not be afraid to talk to somebody.
Again, I think it's another thing like we were talking in the last episode: connections, network. You never know. You might meet that special someone online, or you might meet him in the store.
Yeah,
I think it all comes down to being open to it.
I think it's taking an initiative.
Taking initiative.
It is taking initiative. I mean, sometimes it's a gamble because you don't know if that person's married or in a relationship or interested in you at all.
So what?
But she's behind you at the coffee shop, and she caught your eye, and what are you going to do?
That's especially for me because I can't really see those details if they have a ring on. I have to take a chance sometimes and be like, you know what? If I'm getting a vibe, like there's a good conversation, then I got to go ask for a number. If not, then nothing gained.
Nothing. I mean, if nothing else, you struck up a good conversation with somebody about something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll get, there's a lot of, you guys have a place, and I know Alex does, which is I know we're getting off topic, but this is kind of what we do now.
Yeah.
You guys have a place, and I thought of you when you did it, where you have a girl, mostly a girl, I guess, that you will have friendly banter with at a CVS, a bar, a place like that, where you just like kind of you can use her as an example of like how to talk to a girl.
Well, yeah, it's somebody that you're comfortable talking with, but not somebody that you want to ruin what you have going in that place. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, even like waitresses are generally friendly.
Yeah.
A lot of them are friendly and they're talkative. So you can, but I mean, at the same time, you don't want them to think
You don't
that
want to
you're
flirt with them too much.
You don't want them to think that they're just being nice to you or that you're misinterpreting stuff. So it's good to have some nice back and forth of like whether it's a cashier or a sales clerk or it's like or primarily it's like a bartender or a waitress.
Yeah, definitely. I do have a bartender near me that I talk to quite a bit. She works at this bar, Five Horse Tavern. She's very friendly.
Just remember, Mike, they're friendly to everybody.
Yeah,
No,
exactly,
actually,
and that's
the point.
good.
But the
It's
point
good
is
for
before negative attitude cut off there. The point is
It wasn't a negative attitude.
Sarah,
That's kind
this
of the
girl
point of
Sarah
this.
actually takes a liking to me. I can tell, and you get a better vibe as you.
Now, is that her real name, or did you change it for courtesy of privacy?
No, it's because I like her, and if she ends up listening to us, she knows that she's a nice person, and so
there you go.
you get friendly
Remember,
banter.
we're not we're on the terms of like how do you practice a good conversation, not necessarily. We're not at that point yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, so Alex has his rules apparently.
You know me, I have my own
Sorry,
twisted
Derek.
moral
So yeah,
code.
I do online dating a little bit more now than like before when it like in the 20s it was a little more the bar scene and so it's doing a little more of that. So
That's cool.
What about you, Mike?
I right now, I mean, being in Davis Square, I've decided, I'm just taking advantage of being out. Like I'm, whether it's at a bar or honestly, another thing for me has been network like classes. You meet. Like I do improv, and you meet people through classes, like friends of friends. I always thought that was like, and I know it's asking a lot, but when you go out and you hang out with friends and like you meet the friend of the friend,
Oh yeah,
that has worked good for me in the past.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Friend of a friend's usually pretty good.
Yeah, so if you get yourself in those situations, that's usually pretty good because you're kind of too friendly with the one that's there. But if they bring a friend, then it's usually a good setup because the friend can talk nice about you.
Rocco, if you're listening, introduce me to some of your female friends.
Ditto.
Yeah, Rocco, if you got female friends.
Likewise. No, Rocco's Rocco's a very good supporter of the show. He'll be listening to this. I have nothing but respect for him. It's just an example. He's like the mayor of Fitchburg. Everyone knows him. He knows he gets along well with pretty much everybody, and I'm trying to use that as my advantage.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
I
man.
think there's something. I think girls like it when you show up with like this, whether it's social, like you show up with somebody else. Like you're not just there by yourself. I think they like that. They feel a little more comfortable with you.
They feel safer. Yeah.
Yeah, they feel safer.
Yeah.
So, well, that was kind of just the crust of like where to meet people.
Yeah.
And I think that's we could do a whole episode on that just alone.
Oh yeah, no, we
But out of the things we've talked about, what is your best success been? I think mine's friend of the friends. Yours?
Lately it has been more online. Lately for me, it's been more online. I'll just message somebody back and forth for a few times. We'll make plans to like go out to dinner, or grab some drinks or something, and we go. I mean, you live in Boston, so you have you're in a more like populous, denser area.
Yeah.
If you're in like a rural area and
I totally get it.
You can't just like walk out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
Now, I've done a little bit of the online dating thing too, and
Yeah.
and I want your opinion on this. Like, do you try to talk to them a lot before just making the date? Because you don't want to make a date with them and then be like, oh, they're not what I thought they were.
I
Or
don't,
do you
don't
try
want
to-
to burn all the first date conversation messaging back and forth before the
said.
first date. You don't want to do that. You want them to. So I don't like it to last more than
Like
a
2 or
few-
3 messages, yeah.
So what do you do? A couple messages, then get their number.
Well, I don't necessarily like count the messages, but like by a couple of days of you talking, and you can get a good chance. Every woman is different, so you can get a good chance as to whether she'll say yes or whether you want to continue it on your end after. You shouldn't have to wait that long to see at least to see if you guys want to.
And you probably, and if they're messaging you back, there's interest, and you don't want to. You got to remember that they're probably getting a ton of messages too. From guys, so you want to stand out a little bit.
And it's always a good not to be lazy, but it's always a good first impression if they message you first because they're showing it. They show initiative.
Yep.
You have to show your initiative as well, but it's impressive.
I know. I like that when I was online dating. If you get the message first, but you can't rely on that.
No, you can't. You definitely can't rely on it, but it distinguishes the woman.
Yeah, it shows a little independence. They're a little like they're strong enough and secure in themselves to go ask you, like talk to you first. You know.
Yeah, and I'm fonder of like a little more independent. Well, some guys like women who are kind of they want like a knight in shining armor, and guys want to like say some guys like they want to feel like they're saving somebody or they're I don't know.
Alex.
So it depends.
What?
On,
I don't. Not trying to save.
I'm just trying to
I don't
include
get
you,
that-
my friend.
Yeah, I don't
don't-
get that from Alex at all.
No,
But,
I trust.
No,
me.
I
like a strong, independent woman who knows what she wants. That way, she's not wasting her time. I'm not wasting mine.
No, what I was saying
yeah.
for you, if you were listening, I said you are the knight in shining armor, like a nice guy. That would
Oh,
come
I'm a
in
nice
and-
guy, but
and
I'm not
do
the knight in
those things.
shining armor.
Well, that's just
Well,
you.
it's not so much how you perceive yourself as like how you want her to get out of your relationship. So
I like the more independent women because they have their own thoughts and views, and you know they're not waiting for any materialistic things, you know, which I know some girls are like that. Most girls aren't, but there are some girls like that.
we need a girl on the podcast to like offer like a female perspective.
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe we should work on that.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, you have a lot of pretty girls that you call friends, so.
You have friends too? So does
I
Evan?
don't. No, I don't. I have no friends.
Yeah.
Alex, you've been slowly more segregated since this topic came up. Is
Yeah.
this
No, I
a
do
tough
feel,
topic for
I do
you?
feel, I don't know if we
It's
can
not
go
a
as
tough
in-
topic for me. It's just I haven't dated in a couple of years because I've been focusing on me. So.
Yeah, but you're a catch. Why don't you do it? Go out, get out there.
Because
You
I
said-
don't-
Are you
What if
afraid?
the opportunity? What if,
Are you afraid?
What if the
Oh no, I'm not
opportunity-
afraid. It's just
What
I
if the
just don't
opportunity
see the
fell
point.
in your lap? Like suddenly a girl walked up to you and
See, that's
and
what you
wanted
want.
to-
I know you do. You want to just fall in your lap.
Well,
You literally.
You
want
can't
her to
rely
fall
on that.
into
But
it.
what
Yeah.
if it happened? Would you would you just say, I'm sorry, I'm not dating anybody now? Or
No,
would you try to get something out of it?
I gotta
I'd,
pass.
I'd go on a first date and
Hard
see.
pass.
It's hard pass. Well played. Yeah, I do that a lot. No, I mean I'm open. It's just I'm more focused on me. I'm not going around trying to catch tail.
Well,
How you put that?
yeah.
Well,
Thanks a lot. You'd say Evan and I are dogs.
Yeah, pretty much. Because no, for me, I honestly like when the time's right, I'll try to find somebody, but I don't want to force something. I want it to happen organically.
I agree.
And
Organic.
because I'm not like for me, you know, I'm beyond that stage of just trying to hook up with somebody. I want to build something more significant.
Well, I guess so. You are open to like if you were at like we were talking about earlier. If you're at the grocery store,
If there's a
and some
chance
girl's
encounter
talking to you,
and you're talking to somebody and something happens, yeah, absolutely. But for me to just be like, all right, you know, I'm not going to be on like
you're not gonna go. Well, see you later.
exactly. I'm not going to be like on Tinder going swiping right at this point.
A girl in an Alice in Chains shirt with a PRS guitar in her back and
Yeah.
You just wait for her to walk around the corner.
a female version of Alex.
Oh God.
Oh, that would be
please no.
Now, could you imagine two of us, Mike?
Alexandra.
Alexandra and Allie. Oh my God.
Dual Alexis's.
Or Ani. Alex and Ani.
I knew we were going to go there right after that. The minute you said Ani. I'm like, oh God.
Well, Ani's the punchline, of course. And a weak one at that, but I digress.
Yeah.
Aren't most of your punchlines weak?
But that's what makes them funny. Is they're so weak. They get a big build-up, and then...
I think-
Which segues into how to make a proper first impression, first date, however you like to... first meet up with somebody.
First impressions do last.
The what?
Oh,
First impressions do.
oh,
last.
absolutely.
Especially from females, they pay attention a lot.
Yeah.
So I hear.
Okay, so what would your... what's in the back of your mind when you're trying to make a first impression, Michael?
I think just being yourself, because you got to be yourself. You can't
Of course.
you can't let them think you're something you're not.
Can't keep up that act for too long.
Nope. And
Nope.
being friendly, and for me, it's always keeping it light and joking. Obviously, you guys know, so I like to keep it light with the females, but at the same time, I'm one of those people that ask questions a lot to them to let them know I'm interested. I don't try to come out and talk about myself all the time right away. I'm sure guys that are like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to keep it light but not too friendly where you feel like you're crossing that border, because I've had that problem before. Alex can say that I've had girls that are like, "Oh, Mike's nice. He's such a nice guy." I don't want any of that.
Oh yeah, you get stuck in the friend zone.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in the friend zone.
You gotta have a little mysteriousness about it.
Exactly. How about you, Evan? What's some of the tricks of the trade you got?
Tricks of the trade. Okay. I agree with being yourself, because you want that person to like you for you and not. But also I tend to try to if I'm a little too self-conscious, I will kind of dilute some of. I won't be funny. I'll be too self-conscious about offending somebody or saying something wrong that I won't be as talkative. I won't be as funny, and you can't really you open yourself less up to chemistry, and because remember you're not only trying to get a first impression, you're trying to see if you have chemistry with this person, and if you're trying to warp yourself, smooth out your rough edges, it's going to be tougher to get chemistry. Even if you see you as a nice person or a person who doesn't offend you, that's not enough by itself. That's not enough by itself.
I agree.
First impressions. Dress wise, obviously. I mean, I do the whole. What goes without saying? You should put on deodorant.
Yeah.
A little cologne,
Take a shower.
a little cologne, but not too much.
I think showering's good.
Showering.
If we have to tell people that, I don't think we have to tell people that.
But I mean, some people need to be told, okay, cologne, deodorant.
I don't do. I don't
said,
believe it or not.
Believe
it or not, I don't do cologne.
Just a little bit on, and for whatever the reason, on your wrist that circulates to your whole body, or a little bit on the neck. Just a little bit.
No, I don't do that.
Why is that? Are you against cologne?
Well,
or you just can't take the smell of cologne?
I don't personally like the smell of cologne. I think that your natural pheromones and your natural scent's good enough.
Well, if
Girls
you don't
have
normally
pheromones.
wear cologne, then that's
Men have
proper.
pheromones.
That's
Not
proper.
as much as girls.
Yeah. A lot of women have told me that just to that they always look at a man's shoes. So I always put on some nice shoes.
I've just recently started adapting into that. Okay, I'm gonna make sure my shoes are nice because, like you said, girls notice the stuff that we can maybe care less about as long as they feel nice.
Yeah, if they're sneakers, make them nice sneakers, not your ratty sneakers.
Yeah, or and also make sure that if you're not going with slacks, you're going with jeans. Make sure the jeans are clean and that there's no aroma coming from them.
Yeah, I've got no woman has ever said, "Yo, you're wearing jeans," but make them nice jeans, not ratty at the bottom, just clean. You don't want to give off the vibe as sloppy. In fact, I've had more of them say to want me to be a little bit more casual. I like you better when you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I'm glad we're going bowling rather than you're wearing khakis and a.
And I think when you feel comfortable in what you're wearing, you act more comfortable.
Yeah.
If I went on a first date wearing a shirt and tie, I'd feel so out of place that I'd be not acting like myself.
No, I wouldn't be.
I'd feel like I was in an interview just trying to get the job. And
Yeah,
that's not how I want to be.
You want to. Well, I think from my perspective, you want to dress to not only.
Well, you want to press
the
a little
event
bit,
as well. The event as
for
well.
the event as well. If you're going to be doing something nice, like a nice formal dinner at a nice restaurant, you take it up
All right.
a notch.
This is an interesting first topic here because what do you guys think about a first date should be? Do you think it should be casual, like bowling, or do you think it should be?
No, I don't think bowling. I think it's going to be something where the two of you are in a position to talk.
Exactly.
I
So
agree.
you-
Movies,
Forward's
bad
like the
idea.
second
I was going to
date.
say movies is usually
movies
a good
are bad.
third date.
Yeah,
movies
movies
a
are
good
bad
third
first
date.
Yeah, or here a second. I typically for it's going to be a lot of conversation, so I would end a place where either of you, if things don't work out, can leave quickly. So I would say
Quick
either,
exit.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So if you go on a 2-hour hike with someone you barely know and you can't stay them after the first 20 minutes, no,
you don't want to do that.
No, I first of all, outdoor activities on a first date's always a no for me.
Yeah, coffee, beer, or if you really know that you can sustain something for a couple hours, dinner.
Exactly. I was going to say coffee if you're just wanting to scratch the surface. Dinner if you want to get to know them a little more.
So one of my favorite first date places is Ryan Time in Fitchburg. It's a little bit upscale.
I thought that was Leominster.
I'm sorry, no, Leominster. You're right. Yeah, Ryan Time in Leominster. It's a little bit upscale, so it's good. Like,
What is that now? Is it a bar restaurant?
It used to be the Capitol Grill.
Yep, down the Monument Grill.
Monument
so
Grill, my bad.
Capitol Grill you'd be really treating them well for a first date, but the
Well, I like to
$50
treat- I like,
steaks.
I like to treat the ladies nice.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
But,
well that's kind of what we're talking about. Do you?
yeah, because I mean the good thing with Ryan Time is the downstairs is a bar, so you can literally go for drinks, and if you're still talking after the first round of drinks, or you can order some appetizers. Their wood slab bacon there is to die for. Oh.
Really?
See, I would think
Yeah.
like
Nice.
there's that border. Like unless you're going on a blind date, I would think you would have a certain degree of like you want to be with this person, you want to hang out with this person. You've talked enough where it's like I could stand a couple hours with them, you know. And so that brings me to the just a couple coffees or go get a dinner with them. You know, I guess you kind of have to feel it out each one because I've done different ones, and I've felt comfortable in each where it's just go grab a couple drinks or I've had dinners.
I think it's based on the vibe you get from the person.
Yeah.
Because she might be more of a dinner type.
She might, and sometimes you just meet somebody who's like, hey, let's just grab a cup of coffee, talk, see where it goes, and then you make the second date kind of like your real first date kind of thing.
Yeah, so it'll be like first date's kind of like a pre-date, just
A pre-check, yeah.
like a screening.
Just TSA.
Just screening, make sure you're not an
You
asshole.
strip down, you walk.
Make
through
sure
the,
you're not.
thing.
You make sure you're not a jerk. Make sure she's not crazy.
Yeah. And then you look for like the second and third dates. You see, okay, do we have chemistry? Do we see this going forward? Da 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 da. Any red flags?
Exactly. Now, my question to you guys:
Yep.
What date is the home date?
The home date?
What are you saying? When you take them home?
Well, no, not when you take them home. When you do dinner at your house, you do like dinner and a movie at your place.
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends on the girl.
You
I
cook
mean,
for them or
yeah.
order in and chill
yeah,
out.
I dated a girl who, our third date was basically at her apartment cooking like with was it Blue Ribbon? What's that like?
Blue Apron.
Blue Apron.
Blue Apron. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that?
It's good.
What's too
I'm
bad?
tempted to try that out.
I think you'd like it because they send you everything you need, and
You just have to cook it, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it depends on the girl. It depends on your level of.
ability to
Yeah.
cook.
So
and-
you can't really quantify it in dates, like how far you've gone in those dates, and.
I just couldn't
just
see.
be comfortable with it.
I agree. I think it's a great thing to do after first date. I just can't. I could see it being awkward for first date because she has to come to your house.
Oh, you definitely don't do it for the first
And
date.
B,
Why would
you're
you?
gonna-
Yeah,
No, no,
that comes off kind of creepy
Well,
on the first date from my perspective.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it comes off. This is what I'm saying. It comes off creepy, and also B, what the hell? You don't want to probably cook for somebody if you're not going to get along with it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't work out for both parties on the first date.
Yeah.
You got to wait a couple days for that. And plus, I can't cook, so this doesn't. We're talking for you guys.
No, I can cook pretty decently, but the
I don't
again,
cook
I've
anymore.
just it's I'd say three at the minimum, and again, like after that, it's like kind of you can't really quantify it in terms of date. It's like because every girl's different.
Yeah.
That's why I love them.
I think that's the vibe. What we're getting on this topic here is like the vibe you get from somebody determines the date.
Oh, absolutely.
Determines where you're going.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make is assuming that everything that worked in your last relationship will work in this one.
Exactly.
And that's a misfire.
Or overshooting on the first date.
Yeah, or overshooting.
That's what she said.
Well played.
You don't want that one.
Okay, so there's always the idea of like showing up with flowers.
First date? No. Or is that what are you saying first date? Or
Well,
you're asking?
yeah, I say that's all, but I don't do it.
I don't do it
I
either.
don't do it either.
Yeah, I mean, some people think it's sweet and romantic,
But some people don't
you're-
like flowers. Some people have allergies.
yeah, you're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice.
Now, if you really got got along with her that first date and hit it off, would you think about I want to give her flowers on the second date? Still too early.
I would still say it's too early.
It's too early for me. I'd wait after like maybe the second or third date, and then maybe send flowers to her, not show up with
100 flowers and just send them to her door.
Yeah.
No, smaller. They don't all. Not all of them like grandioseness.
See, that's my problem.
You want
Start
to
off with a dead rose.
You're like Ted Mosby.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'll have an orchestra playing.
Have an
in her
orchestra
living
with a
room.
blue.
No,
blue
for me, it's
saxophone.
more like
Yeah.
I try not to do much grandiosity, but something that's a little more personal for them, like something that you
Yes.
wouldn't work for somebody else. It's got to reflect a little bit of them. So you have to
Or something that reminded
organically in conversation find out what their favorite, like whether it's their favorite color, their favorite flower, their favorite sense of smell.
That's what I love about the initial first few dates. I wouldn't say the honeymoon period, but just like you're scratching the surface, you're getting to know who a person is. I love
right,
that.
yeah, and that's where like Evan said, you can take those little tips and tricks and then put them in. Not just get them a bunch of flowers, get them something they might like. She might like something from Starbucks, or something.
Yeah.
Be romantic. The little romantic guy in you is coming back. We're gonna make that guy come back.
Vaughn.
He's never left. He's just doing his
He's
own
just been
thing right
stepped
now.
on.
He's in hibernation.
He's just doing his own thing.
Yeah, so it's
He climbed a mountain, then he climbed it
turned
down.
around.
He's been
The
laying in
landslide
bed.
took him down, man.
So yeah,
Right.
we've had our this is one of those topics I think that'll keep changing and growing as we go along.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
this
We
is
can
certainly
talk about red flags.
yeah.
You can
Oh.
talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
I think.
red flags
I got
for
a
them.
ton of red flags.
Oh, tons of red
Yeah.
flags. I think we'll do.
We'll
I think we
save
need to-
that for
I think
next
we-
one.
Yeah, we need to save that for
Red
another time.
flags. Oh, tune in next time for
Red
flags.
flags.
All right. So what do you got going on next?
And just to follow up, just to wrap this up, if you guys have any first date experiences or anything along the line of that,
Love to hear.
love to hear it.
Yeah.
Post it on
Whether
our
you're a man or a
Facebook.
woman, whether it
Post
worked
it
for
on
you
our
or it
Twitter.
didn't.
Yeah.
Post it on our Facebook. Post it on our Twitter.
Don't feel you can change the name of the person or whatever if it needs to involve
Oh
telling
yeah,
a story
we
or
will,
something.
We will not put anyone
Yeah.
on blast.
Yeah,
We're not
Or
gonna put anyone on
or
blast.
if you feel the need to put somebody on blast, do however you got to do it.
No, I don't want to be involved in that. I'm white glove for that. I'm not. I don't want to put anyone on blast.
No, wait, well, yeah. If you got a story, change the name to protect the innocent, and just just have fun with it.
All right. So we'd like to, in the spirit of the Mike and Alex show, we want to close out with our top fives. And what do we got going on for our top fives this week?
I think as we were talking about with the last episode, we did our top 5 favorite performances. Instead of doing top 5 worst, I think we kind of discussed it amongst ourselves and said top 5 surprising performances, whether it was good or bad, and we can state why. I don't think we want to necessarily. For me, I don't want to bash other people's performances, so. You know,
okay.
So I'm, and there are going to be top 5.
Don't
Some
worry.
of them are
Don't
going to
worry.
be
Bon Jovi's not listening to your podcast today.
I enjoyed Bon Jovi, but
No,
no, what I'm saying is,
you see Luke Perry, the Family Guy. I'm just reading every high school magazine to see if anyone's saying anything about me.
But
Nobody's
no, for
clicking
me,
on
for me,
podcasts.
like you don't know what you were expecting when you were going to go to the show. So sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. Sometimes you're disappointed.
Yeah, pleasant
So-
surprise, disasters,
Exactly.
disappointments. I don't know if I can top 5 it, but
I've been to enough shows where I can
then
top.
my
five.
friend,
why don't you go
will take
first?
the ball first.
I will go first. My first number one.
We'll try to go 5 to 1. Can you do that?
I can do
It's
five
hard
to
to
one.
rank if it's for different reasons. Like
Well,
the
it's for
most
different
I know
surprising,
that's the
worst,
thing. I don't know if this is a
So,
ranking one.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just gonna go first.
Yeah, just go, man.
Disappointing. It was Evanescence.
Really?
No, why is that?
You
I
were
was there with you.
You were there with
I
me.
thought she was good.
She was good at the end of the show. At the beginning of the show, like the first 3 or 4 songs, it took her a while to warm up. Her voice and her vocals were off. Just the energy and dynamic was off of the band.
Okay, could
So
have been
for-
just that night though.
No,
So we're basing it on one night.
I had a live
Yeah.
concert performance DVD that did the exact same thing.
I see. All right.
So it looks like she needs to get a little wine in her and loosen up before the songs actually start sounding
Well,
good.
why
I
don't you
don't know.
go take care of that?
Pass.
No, she's attractive. She's a
attractive.
married woman, though. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got like
Oh, she's
3
married
kids at
now?
this point too. Yeah.
Not to the guy from Seether, right? Anymore?
No, she would have never married to the guy from Seether.
I don't know. I think somebody.
Little fun fact: "Call Me When You're Sober" was about the guy from Seether.
Oh yeah, knew that.
And leading into number 2,
Yeah.
Seether headliner.
Well, I didn't even do that on purpose.
I know. Well played. Yeah, no. We saw Seether, Red, and Flyleaf at the Palladium back in 2008, and it was the opening acts. I was more impressed with than the Seether set, where he was supposedly sick and only did 2 songs.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, pleasant surprise, Bruce Springsteen. I wasn't sure what to expect. I like some Bruce Springsteen, but I'm not as hardcore as Evan or Rocco.
Prefer Nickelback.
I prefer. I go with what I know.
Okay.
He's correct.
But I'll tell you right now, Bruce Springsteen did an amazing job. I was so blown away. Like, it only strengthened the songs that I liked from him more.
Nice.
Van Halen was very disappointing.
What
Now,
were
was
you
it-
expecting?
I was expecting a good show,
Well, okay.
and I did not get a good show.
Now, you saw it with Sammy, right?
With Sammy Hagar, Silvertide was opening up.
I've also heard
Silvertide,
that
wow, that's
David Lee Roth's voice has been shot to shit lately.
I heard that too.
And I've also heard that obviously nobody like Gary Cherone in Van Halen, or very few people did. So
Yeah.
it doesn't it seems not to matter who the singer is.
Well, I think the issue is no matter which one of them it is, it seems like there's a divide.
Okay.
Live. You could tell that there was tension between the band members, and it's not like they used it creatively or in a constructive manner. Like, for example, when Metallica was making like the Black Album, you could tell there was tension between Lars and James and like the videos and stuff like that. But they made an amazing album. With this, it just kind of weighed it down and said, "Wow, these guys." I think it just felt like it was a money grab, and they clearly didn't like being around each other.
I think half of what they did is money grabbing, probably. Half the concerts.
Well, that's what it felt like to me. I'm not going to judge it, but that's what it felt like.
Too late, you did to them.
It's okay.
Who cares? It's a podcast.
Yeah.
Just tell me
This
what.
is your opinion.
I'm sorry, Eddie Van Halen's not going to listen to this. Let's be real. This isn't like, somebody who's going to hear this and then negatively tweet back saying that I'm overrated and don't know what I'm doing.
Some
never
two-bit
know.
podcast bash my guitar playing. Sad.
Screw you, Alex Lopez.
I've heard your guitar
He
playing
could publicize.
mediocre at best.
He kind of forgot how to play guitar. Sometimes he forgets how to play guitar. It seems.
Well, no, it seems like he has trouble staying sober. It seems.
Yeah,
live.
okay,
That was
all
my
right,
that was my impression.
No, didn't they came back together still with David Lee Roth recently? Right?
Yep, it was, but they kicked out Michael Anthony, so it wasn't even a classic lineup reunion. It was David Lee Roth with Van Halen, because they have. And I've heard great things about
Kid
Wolf.
bass player.
Well, I heard Wolfgang because I've heard his stuff with Tremonti. So I mean, Wolfgang's a very talented bass player, and I heard they do a great job with Wolfgang live. It just doesn't feel right to me.
Well, his introduction was, and not his fault, but his introduction was very poor because what they initially tried to do is Photoshop Michael Anthony out of all the classic albums on their website and reinsert Wolfgang. I'm serious.
Is this
For like
true?
a day. Yes, for one day.
That's
Like
classic.
they had the classic Van Halen artwork, but they Photoshopped in Wolfgang Van Halen.
Did they leave like the Michael Anthony mullet in the background? With
No. It was just so that lasted like a day on their website and then was gone. So that I think that kind of set the tone for a lot of ill things that he had to win over initially.
Now, is he back in the band, like in the last couple of years?
Wolfgang,
Or
not Michael Anthony. Wolfgang is.
Okay, so he has not been back in the band in a while. Michael Anthony.
No, he's been out, and even when he was in the band, he was kind of out as far as he might have just been a salary touring member. He didn't actually play on the record. I don't really know, but before he was out, they were pushing him out, I guess.
Interesting.
For me, my last one, Keith Urban. I wasn't sure what to expect. I hadn't been to many country shows when I first saw him. First time I saw him, blown away, just blown away.
You like that? He puts on a good country
Puts
show?
on an amazing show in general.
That's funny because I want to go see a country show. I have not seen one, and so I'm looking for country artists to go check out live because I heard their shows are fun.
Go watch Keith Urban. Rascal Flatts is hit or miss, but they were my first country show and they were great. Jason Aldean was opening for them. But yeah, Keith Urban blew me away. I was so like, wow, I'm a Keith Urban fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make you dirty.
I didn't feel dirty after hearing it. No.
Dirty.
For me, mine would be for surprise concerts, good or bad. I think we mentioned in the other podcast, but for me, Trapped. I was pretty. I thought they put on a great live show, and it really was not at all. I was there with you at that show, and just could not hear
They
anything.
opened up for Nickelback.
They opened up for Nickelback. Yep.
They spent more time telling stories about the song than actually performing the song.
Yeah, so that really kind of made it like tough to deal with. Also, and this is going to because I'm such a huge fan of his movies and such a huge fan of how he is. I was a little disappointed at the Rob Zombie show I saw him at, but
What?
I would love to see him again because I know I'd be.
I was with you at that Rob Zombie
I
show.
know.
I was at the Palladium. It was great. I became a Rob Zombie fan that night.
I was already
live
one
for it.
before.
Well, no,
And
I mean,
am
like I
still one.
heard his albums, but I was blown away by that live show.
I think I was expecting more like White Zombie music and stuff too that he was going to play. So I think that was a problem. So I went in with high expectations.
He only
that was
does
a problem.
okay, I'll give you that because I'll tell you right now, he only did 3 White Zombie songs. The rest was all like Rob Zombie solo stuff.
Yeah, which is fine. He's got I
So
like Dracula and all
he's
that
pretty
stuff.
much. It's pretty much the same thing.
Right.
Though.
But that's what I went in with high expectations for his show. Or different expectations.
Lacuna Coil was great live that night too.
actually, that brings me to my next one. Lacuna Coil, I thought, is a great band to see live. That's so funny you mentioned that. Christina is an awesome voice. She's
Same
very
show.
attractive. Yep. They put on a great live show.
Oh yeah, live and in person, she's stunning.
They're one of those people that can do Italian and American, like speak English and
Yeah.
Italian.
Oh, I know she was stunning. I didn't know that they put on a good show. But
They put on a really good show. The other two opening acts, Bullet for My Valentine and
Both from Valentine, good band. Yep.
yeah, they got kicked off off that tour right after that Worcester show.
Why?
Because of there was an incident with the merch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Wicked by the Jada Pinkett Smith one.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one.
They weren't terrible. I was just they did a decent enough job. I just couldn't get past that it was Jada Pinkett Smith. I think kind of like how you felt about Jared Leto, 30 Seconds to Mars.
Who? Him?
Yeah, Evan.
Yeah. No, it is weird because I like 30 Seconds to Mars, but yeah,
They were good
They were
live.
actors
They've
playing.
gotten better live.
No, I saw them open up for Seether and Audio Slave. I was not impressed with 30 Seconds to Mars. That'll be, when we get to my list, I'll.
sure that's gonna
Well,
be on
actually,
there.
it's right now. You're up next.
Oh, so
Oh, I have to
was
finish.
done?
Oh, I
I
thought
thought
you
you
were
left.
done.
Thank you,
Yeah,
you
finish,
ass.
Finish up,
We
Mike.
cutting off my list. My last
I
two would
wouldn't
be
dare.
this next one is probably kind of like what, but it was. I thought they were great, but this is because we went to see them very early on before we really knew that they were going to be awesome. I was blown away by
Nickelback?
Shine Down. No, not I don't have Nickelback on the brain like you do, but Shine Down, great live performance.
Yeah.
I love them live. And my last one is also I didn't know what to expect from him. First time seeing him with his other band. Still yet to see Tool, but A Perfect Circle. I
Oh
thought was
yeah, they were
awesome.
fantastic
Put on
live.
a great show at Perfect Circle. I loved it. Tool, Foo Fighters, and Pearl Jam.
I think
are on my
they're
bucket list.
working on a new album. It's a few
They
tour
are.
dates.
Yep.
Tool or Perfect Circle?
Perfect Circle. Tools. I won't have
A
another album
Perfect
out.
Circle. I don't know if they're touring in New England, but they're definitely touring in the spring.
They're touring in the
definitely
spring,
touring in
and
the
I know
spring.
they're working on new music.
Both those bands have been working on new music for like 8
Well,
years
by the
now.
way, Maynard James Keenan said in a recent interview that it wasn't him that they're waiting on. He's waiting on them to get the music done. That's why he's doing other projects right now.
No, that makes sense.
Interesting. So they are Evan and yours.
As mentioned, I was not impressed with 30 Seconds to Mars when I saw them live. The sound mix was terrible. The musicianship wasn't that good. They generally all just missed the mark.
I heard the shows are very theatrical, or he is very theatrical on
Yeah,
stage.
and the theatrical can sometimes be okay, but sometimes it's like, all right, let's cut the crap and actually play music. Pleasantly surprised. I'll agree with Shinedown. I saw them live with Alex kind of as a concession because he really wanted to see him.
I wanted somebody to go.
I'm not
I didn't want to
impressed.
drive. I didn't want to drive to a casino by myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was like,
Again.
yeah, it's fun. I'm not impressed with their studio catalog, really. But
No?
No, they're not. There's so many bands that could do that, like straight ahead hard rock, much better than Shinedown.
Well, check
but
out
I will
Sound of
say
Madness.
this: they put on a killer show.
Exactly. Great live show.
Great live band.
Yeah, they put on a good. So they put on a good live show. The songs that I didn't really care for, like listening to the studio or listening on the radio, they were performing a lot better live. And they're kind of the band that like feeds well for live performance.
Now,
Yeah.
is the reason why you don't like them because they did the cover of the Skinner song?
I don't like the cover of the Skinner song, but for me, it's just I think they're overrated. They don't. They're a straightforward rock band that they don't distinguish themselves from other bands like them. So I think it was a time around like 2008, 2009 where like it seemed like that kind of like just generic hard rock was so popular
That it turned you off.
They were like, it was almost like you couldn't distinguish one from the other.
I was watching
Like
Shinedown in
Freddie
2008,
Hanley,
2009.
all those like I don't know, just it takes more than that to impress me with rock.
Yeah,
rock
and
music.
doing it live is something special. If
Yeah.
you can't do it live, then
I remember one of the first shows we saw back in 08. Well, not one of the first shows, but I remember one of the first Shinedown shows. I saw them in like 05.
was I
And-
with you? I feel like I've seen
At
no
like
Shinedown
Local,
play.
yeah, we saw them a couple of
Yeah.
times with like Local Bazooka, but 2008 at the Palladium when they were doing the Sound of Madness.
Yeah,
tour.
with
it was a
is it
5
Theory of a Dead Man.
Theory of a Dead Man and Blackstone
yeah,
Cherry.
Blackstone Cherry. That's another
Yeah.
great live
That was
band.
all three of those are great live bands.
Theory of a
And
Dead Man. Yeah, that's another great.
they're a great
That was
live
probably who
band.
you're thinking, right? Like all that era.
Well, yeah.
I think I just
yeah.
named three of the
I
bands
named
that
the
I've
band that
done
you were
like.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, that's another one. I saw Theory of a Dead Man live opening up for Bush, and I I wasn't surprised because I wasn't too impressed with them, and they didn't do anything that wowed me when they played live. So not that they surprised me, but I didn't like them when they played live.
But when they're an opening act, they keep a very limited set. I'll tell you,
They have a pretty good catalog.
they have a pretty good catalog. Yeah.
But it might be just one of those bands that you're talking about you don't like, so it's all good.
Yeah, well,
Nobody's judging
kind of
about
like
it.
blend into one another, and it's very like third generation of that kind of music. I stick with the first stuff, the stuff that's not as diluted or watered down. Other bands that surprised me or disappointed me. I can't think of too many bands that like when I see live I'm disappointed.
Well, what about surprise you? You're expecting the show to kind of like flop, and then when you went, you're like, wow, these guys.
Yeah, well, so Shinedown, I had to concede they were great live. Bush, I like Bush, but I'm not too crazy. Like I'm not too crazy about them, but they were great live.
Yeah, they were.
They're good live.
Just some bands are just much better live than studio. Even if you like them, they're just like a couple notches up.
Yeah, see, I like those kind of pleasant surprises where you're not sure what you're going to expect, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow.
Yeah,
To do it live is good. Because a lot of people
Yeah.
don't do it good live.
No,
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah. What else have I seen? Like, I'm trying to think of other bands I've seen lately. Or it has to be bands that you've seen live. It can't just be bands. Oh, I've heard they're bad live.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I can't just say okay, Five Finger Death Punch sucks live. So
or you can't say Audio Slave because Cornell's voice, goes because.
Actually, I saw Audio Slave at the Songus Arena in 2006. They were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, this is just it. I mean, like you can't base it on YouTube clips either.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it has to be
You have
your
to-
own
in the
experience.
flesh.
Exactly.
Because they might have had a bad show here or there.
Exactly. But I'll tell you who doesn't have a bad show, Soundgarden.
I saw them.
We
I
saw
wasn't
them
with
at Coheed
I
and
haven't had the privilege
Cambria.
to see it, man. I haven't had the privilege to see
Oh, you'd be happy.
Where was that? It was 2011 at the
Songus Arena. Yep, Coheed and Cambria opened.
Yep. One more pleasant. I can't think of any other like disappointments, but a pleasant surprise. A band that I didn't think about too much, but when I saw them live, Guster. They opened up for the Bare Naked Ladies and Ben Folds 5 at Mohegan Sun.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you. Is it Guster or Gooster? Because I've heard people say it.
Guster.
Okay.
Gooster.
I've never heard
pretentious
Gooster.
people like Encyclopedia or it's
Because
Guster.
of Gusto. Who are you
No.
hanging out with?
Guster.
I remember in college, people were like, "Oh, Guster's
Oh
gonna
well,
be."
college. That's when everyone's pretentious, including
Yeah.
probably ourselves.
Gusta.
No,
I'm going
I-
to see Gusta.
No me gusta.
No,
Gusta.
I'm taking this chick to Gusta.
Well, yeah, I'm like, wait, so Guster's gonna be coming down, playing around the area.
95%
No,
sure
it's
Guster.
Guster.
No, I think you just hung around with pretentious assholes in college.
I hung out with you
With the
in college.
exception of me. With the exception of
I
me.
hung out with you in college. That was it. You were my friend in college.
But I was not the one who said Gusta.
Yeah.
So don't put that on me.
Well, I wasn't friends with this person.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, they opened up for Ben Folds 5 and Bare Naked Ladies, and both those bands put on a great show. But
I'm not a Bare Naked Ladies fan.
I agree. I'm not a Bare Naked Ladies fan.
Tell me, were they good live at least? Because
They were decent
I just
live.
think they're
I mean,
so
the main
corny.
reason I was
and
there is because I'm a big Ben
That's
Folds
just it. I
5.
feel like they're campy.
I feel like they're
Well,
so
yeah, but
corny.
you know what you're getting into. I mean, the main reason I was there was for Ben Folds 5. I love Ben Folds 5. They had reunited the previous year. It was just those three bands. It was like $30 for those three bands. It was a great deal. But I hadn't heard too much Guster beforehand. And then I heard Guster, and I'm like, they put on a kick-ass live show. I love how, like, all the heavy percussion, just great songwriting. You don't hear him too much on the radio. You don't hear him too much, but live show, great.
And it's Guster, not
Guster.
Guster. So, yeah, I'm not a
Guster.
Bare Naked Lady fan.
I'm going to.
It's one of those surprising ones Alex and I agree on.
probably
Yeah.
wouldn't see them alone. Bare Naked Ladies, I wouldn't see them by themselves, but if they were like added onto a band that I liked a little bit more, I'd be entertained. But I wouldn't like see them by themselves, especially they don't have their original lead singer anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, the lead singer's been gone since like 07.
Yeah. But
Wasn't there two singers in the band?
Well, yeah, one of them's still there. The other one isn't.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't see them by themselves, but Bare Naked Ladies show was pretty decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's only like one or two Bare Naked Ladies songs I can actually like sit through and listen.
You got
If
more than
I
me.
had $1 million.
Oh no.
You don't like
no.
that one?
I just find them
Week?
so.
Runaway, I think, is the one I'm
Running-
talking.
Okay, I love Falling for the First Time. I think that's my favorite Bare Naked Ladies song. But anyway,
Everybody's got a band like that probably nobody else like Alex Nickelback,
yeah.
and I Nickelback, and you Bare Naked Ladies. It's
Why are you
it's all
saying
good.
I Nickelback? Because
It's your
I
band that
said
nobody
me-
else, that we don't like.
Nick-
yeah, but
Nickelback too.
he likes Nickelback too.
but not as much as you. But I like them too.
You're,
Stop trying to segregate me.
Over the last
I'm
two
not
podcasts,
segregating.
You have
presented
mentioned them more
that
than
they're a
me.
better live band than Bruce Springsteen. I respectfully disagree.
Have you seen Nickelback live?
On YouTube, yeah.
No. Have you seen them live?
No, and I will
Okay,
not.
then there you go. Your opinion's not relevant because you haven't seen them live.
I will sacrifice my opinion so I don't have to see him live.
Okay, then.
Right now, and
Then-
Alex is
then
actually
stuff
wearing a
it.
Nickelback T-shirt. Everybody.
I am not wearing a Nickelback T-shirt.
He was just listening to the Chad Kroger, the Spider-Man song "Hero" before we started this podcast.
Maybe if you all want to bring some copyright, I'll play it right now.
I'm so high. Hey, we should have an intro for the song.
No, we're using our own music as the intro.
Yeah.
True.
Some Aurora Syndrome.
Yeah.
Or some solo Alex Lopez.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Or I'll just bust out an acoustic and just start
Start
doing
doing
that.
Finger
some
picking,
jam.
like.
This is some campfire music. And
Yeah.
all right, well,
Michael and Alex. That's all I got.
I
Peace
got
out, people.
I'm
Next
good.
time we'll talk about red flags.
Get your
we'll
hands
talk
out of your
about
pants, Alex.
the latest developments, like music reunions. There's a lot of good reunions already out there for 2017.
I think we can spend a lot of good on red flags.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With red flags. The next.
We could even break that one down.
Yeah. Red flags for women. Red flags for businesses. Red flags for yourself.
Red flags on a first date.
Is it ever okay to put a red flag on your car?
Exactly. We should just have a red flag.
Is it
segment.
okay to wear a red flag like a bandana or
Yeah.
an ascot?
Again? let's just end
That
with
guy
that.
looks like Larry David, the guy walking by just with more hair.
Oh yeah, Larry David.
Yes, he does. Oh, crap.
Larry David.
All right, guys, this is the end of the podcast.